So he said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that plague stopped. So in a way, he was a martyr.
Mm-hmm.
Now he said, you know what? I know how it's going to go down. If I go there and make a point, I'm going to prove a point, and I'm going to make my case in front of Moses, in front of everybody, in front of God, in front of everybody, and I'm going to do it right at the oil, the entrance to the Heichal, right? And I'm going to go there and I'm going to do it in front of everybody. I'm going to make a point. I'll probably get killed for it, but it will stop the plague. So he was a martyr. You can look at him and you can give him...
And what a way to go, too, because I hear that Cosby chick could really rock the Casbah, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, she was on a go, woo!
You making his point deep inside of her. And
right.
She was going, I love you so much, I feel so open to you right now. You're touching me very deeply inside. I'm like, I've never let any other guy do this to me.
Right. So the Talmud says that Zimri grabbed Cosby, who was a Midian woman, and he brought her to Moses, and he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, he said, listen, is this woman permitted to me or not? And if you say she's forbidden to me, then who permitted you to marry the daughter of Yisro?
Yeah, because Moshe married a Midian. Yeah,
a Midian, right? Now, at that moment, the Talmud says that there's a ruling that zealots may kill somebody who cohabits with an idolatress, right? So if somebody has sex with an idol worshipping woman, then a zealot, somebody wants to take it upon themselves, is allowed to kill that man. Okay? But Moses forgot that, and all the people wept loudly. It says they cried loudly when this was going down because Moses forgot that, and they were hoping he remembered that. And this is the meaning when it's written. It says they were weeping at the entrance of the Oichel. Now, Rashi says there's a huge difference between Zimri and Moses. Moses took who? A wife. Right.
Why?
But that was before the Torah was given. Right? So everybody, including Moses, was considered a Noahide. He wasn't, considered...
You just keep going.
Right? He followed the laws of the Noahides. Right? He's a Jew, but he follows the entire world has to follow the Noahide laws back then. This is before Mount Torah, this is before the Torah was given. Whereas... And at Mount Sinai, both Moses and his wife Yocheved, they converted and they became Jews and they were married. So they're both considered converts. Everybody at Mount Sinai is a convert. And prior to Mount Sinai, we followed the Noahide laws. We didn't follow the 613. We followed the 7 Noahide laws and their derivatives. So he didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't like he intermarried. Because there was no regulation to marry fellow Jews until the Torah was given. So that's why that was okay for him. But in the time of after the time of Torah was given, so Zimri is not allowed to marry a non-Jewish woman. He can't marry a Midianite because it's already after Torah, and Torah says you can't intermarry. So that's easy, right? I just explained the difference.
Okay, great.
Did you understand the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Just what you said. I think you phrased it really well.
Okay, good. Because I want you to, because a lot of times I hear your friends in the chat room will go, "Oh, Moses married a goy." No, he didn't. He didn't. It wasn't an intermarriage. There was no concept of a problem of intermarriage until after Torah was given. Before at Mount Sinai, Moses and his wife converted and they became Jews. I mean, they took upon themselves the halachos in 613. All right. Zimri, his whole thing was, he was saying, if Moses can do this, right, then it should be okay for the tribe of Shimon. What did they do wrong? And I'm going to demonstrate this because I'm now going to bang a shiksa a Midianite in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's okay for Moses, it's okay for me, and it's okay for all these other people.
Right.
And Pinchas stood up and he said, I don't care that Moses forgot this halacha. The halacha is, if somebody cohabits with a idolatress, then a zealot can go ahead and kill them. So Pinchas picked himself up and killed the guy. And then the plague stopped, right? The plague stopped just as Zimri predicted it would, right? And that's it. That's your story. Does that make sense?
Should we go around killing people today who have no marital sex?
You mean if they bang a shiksa, an idolatress?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because in those days we assumed that everybody grew up, from and they understand all those things, right? Those laws would apply.
What if there's someone who grew up from and is now banging?
Well,
a
still
shiksa?
we don't kill anybody today without we don't have a base that can take away life.
What if you got a head of Mahira?
So you could sell the the bad guy to a goy and let them kick the guy's ass. I guess I don't know. No, but when you're allowed to do killings
Mm-hmm.
is only when there was a beis din that could give the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that today. That went out. And we won't have that again until Mashiach comes. When Mashiach comes, there won't be a death penalty because there's not going to be any Averas like that. Nobody's going to commit Averas, right? So that's done. But back then, when we used to have a beis din that could take away life, right? In the times like, David Melech and stuff, yeah.
Jewish tradition has a lot of ambivalence about what Pinchas did. I mean, it's something that the rabbis talk about a lot.
That was clearly, what he was doing was executing the beis din. You'll see in Nach, you know what Nach is? Navi, the
Bible.
prophets.
Bible.
You will see a lot of times in prophets that they kill each other, like Ahav and Avner, and there's all these people, there's all these stories that take place, of people who kill each other, and it always they stick the knife in the third rib, that's like where you get them. And there's all these stories, and they're going like, wow, these people are all really bloodthirsty. No, they're all really acting like Pinchas. They're executing beis din on the fly. It's like you have someone who deserves the death penalty, so you just do it there, and you don't have to take them to beis din. You bring the beis din to them, kind of thing. What's so funny?
It just strikes me as funny.
Okay.
Hey, it's the way God made me.
Okay. Did I answer that well enough for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, generally speaking, today an Orthodox Jew is expected to ask his Rav for guidance on difficult questions. So,
Sure.
if you act on your own initiative without consulting a Rav, you're a rebel. So I've had people in my Orthodox community describe me as a Pinchas.
Because
I go off on my own and slaughter people on my blog.
I would say you go off on your own, and somebody might want to slaughter you for what you've done on your blog.
The plague that Pinchas stopped through his killing of the couple, the plague consumed 24,000 people, so sometimes a really well-placed killing or well-placed torture can save thousands of innocent lives.
Oh, that's like you know what that's from? Did you ever see the movie A Few Good Men?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
is that Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
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 There's a line that Nicholson says on the witness stand, and he says, "Do you remember this?" Okay. He says, because the story, right? There was a kid a soldier got killed, and he ordered the killing of the guy, and it was like, how can you do that? And he said, sometimes you have to do something like that you kill one of our own, to save thousands of our lives.
Yeah.
And that was what his point was. That's what keeps our soldiers intact. That's what wins us wars, and that's what saves lives. So and so had to die so that everybody could live.
So this week's Torah portion is Pinchas. It's Numbers chapter 25 to chapter 30. So, are any of the orgies depicted in Torah literature gay orgies, or are they all healthy heterosexual orgies?
Can you please tell me what you're talking about? Can you point to even one heterosexual orgy
The one we have in this week's Torah portion.
I told you that's 24,000 individual cases of one-on-one. Where do you see an orgy?
Well, to me that's an orgy, but hey.
Oh, what's your definition of orgy?
Well, a whole bunch of people going around having sex, like in public.